Hello. Now I'm here to show you how to do the bind off for the brioche cowl. To do the bind off, you first have to do the final row after your brioche rows, which is where you resolve the yarn overs. And when I say resolve, I mean you're going to be knitting them together. So this is the last round of the cowl before you bind off. The first, you do brioche knits, and then the next stitch it's knit. So there's a knit stitch and then there's a purl, but I want you to brioche knit the first stitch, the first pair, and knit that purl after, and keep going around so that you'll just have main color knits on the needle. Now you're going to begin your bind off, and what you're going to do is we're going to ignore the contrast and we'll cut that when we're completely done. You're going to purl the first stitches, purl 1, purl 2. There we go. And now you're going to put your left needle through the front of both of them and wrap on the back on the back needle, and you're going to knit them together through the back loop. I'm going to do that again and capture that on camera. So now that I've done two, I have my first stitch done, so I purl one stitch, I put my left needle in the front of both, see that? I wrap the yarn on the back needle, and I'm going to knit these stitches together through the back leg. It's just hard to show you the needle coming through, so I'm going to do that again. The yarn's on the back leg, and I bring this through both. If you've knit two together before, that's what we're doing. So we're just going to continue doing that. Purl 1, left needle goes into the front of both, wrap, and knit together through the back leg. Purl 1, front in, two together through the back leg. You're going to do that until you're completely done, and when you're done, this edge is going to be, these are the bound off stitches, and you'll see that the bound off stitches, here are the bound off stitches, and they're sort of curling toward the front of your work. Okay, that's why I'm having you bind off with purl stitches, because I want this to curl toward the front of your work, because once you do this whole thing, your edge will more clearly mirror the beginning. It's not going to be identical. If you used a German twisted, which I recommended, it won't look identical, but nobody's going to look, unless you're staring at the structure, it's going to really look the same, because this piece at the bottom curls toward the front as well, because we actually, after the cast on, we knit one row at the very bottom in the main color. So I want this to be mirrored, and that's why we did that. Okay, I'm not going to do more for now. That's the process. You use the main color for the bind off, and then cut your ends, and then be careful to, when you bind up, to weave in your ends, just be careful that you want to try to keep things reversible. So you could put your ends that you're weaving in these little areas. Like, see how the, come on camera. Oh, there we go. See this little string of light stitches, those V's? That's where I would take my tapestry needle, and I would go in like that, in a bunch of those, and I would thread it through and pull it through. And as long as I did that just under the light ends, making sure it doesn't come through the other side, it will be reversible. Okay, that's how you bind off for the cowl. I hope this is helpful. Bye guys.